Hi students, today I am here with second part of our ICT skills. In this I am going to teach you about the computer device and its parts. So let us start with our second part of this ICT skills. So in this one, session number 4 I am going to explain to you people, that is parts of a computer and peripherals. A computer system is a programmable machine designed to store and retrieve information and perform arithmetic and logical operations to produce meaningful results in desired format. This computer system is very useful for our day-to-day life. Nowadays it is very essential. It consists of three main units: input unit, central processing unit, that is CPU, and output unit. Different computers have different ways in which the input, processing and output units are connected. In desktop, which is called as personal computer, which is available in our computer lab, even at your home also, personal computers, which is shown in this figure. You can see in this figure near my screen, you can see there all these three units are separated devices. It has keyboard, which is the input unit, then a box with the central processing unit where we are on the power button always, which is the processing unit for process purpose, and third one is a monitor, which is the output unit. Input unit helps the user to enter raw data and instructions into a computer system. Central processing unit performs the required operations as per the given instructions, and the output unit produces meaningful results in the desired format for the user. So by this way this computer works, and its all units are working in together and the synchronization is there. Let us move ahead. The CPU is further divided into three parts. That is, first is control unit, CU, arithmetic and logic unit, ALU, memory unit, that is memory means MU. Control unit, it acts as a receptionist and a manager of a company. It receives each and every instruction from user and coordinates between different parts to perform various operations. Control unit is the very important unit which is controlling all the activities throughout whatever is going on in your computer system. Second is arithmetic and logic unit. It acts as an accountant of a company which performs all the mathematical and logical calculations. Mathematical means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, this all activities, all operations, and logical decisions, it means less than, greater than, true, false, like these decisions it takes. And the memory unit, the third part, it acts as the temporary store of a company where the small amount of data is stored while other operations are being performed. But in laptop, all these three units, input, processing and output, are combined into one device. Input and output devices are also called as peripheral devices. Peripheral means which can be attached to a computer system outside, externally, that is called as peripherals. These are plugged into the computer using connection ports. That also we are going to see in further slides. Let's move ahead that to see the input devices. So there are very common input devices right now. I will take the name of keyboard. The keyboard is an input device used to enter letters, numbers and control the functions. Microphone, it is an input device that is connected to a computer to record sound. A web camera, it is a device used to record videos. Many computers come with built-in microphones and webcams right now. Another input device is a scanner. The scanner that copies physical documents like photograph, any text, page of any book, magazine, etc., and stores them in a computer in digital, means computer readable format, digital format, that can be carried from one place to another place through pen drive, CD, DVD, or in your mobile also you can carry. For example, if you fill an admission form for a college, you can scan it and then email it to the college instead of sending the actual form by the post. That is the fastest way of communication. Let's move ahead for the second devices, which are output devices. Output devices brings information from the computer to the user. After processing, whatever that output result is there, that is brought to the user. That is the actual work of output devices. If you want to calculate the percentage marks, you input all your marks using a keyboard. The computer will calculate it using the formula, and you see the result on a monitor screen. This monitor is the output device on which the computer displays the output information. In the same way, a printer is an output device which gives us the hard copy of a information processed by the computer. Printer will give you hard copy on the paper. We can take the printout of photo, text, or any kind of graphics. If you want to hear the songs you have recorded, you can use speakers to play them. Just like input devices, output devices can also be either separate or built in into the computer. Right now everything is advanced and you can get it in built-in way of these things. Let's move ahead. Some common peripheral devices like keyboard, it is used to provide input to the computer on what to do, which could be in the form of typed letters, numbers and symbols. Second is very popular mouse. We use it to go to different parts of the screen on the monitor. We can easily move any file, you can easily select anything, you can open it. Many things can be done, playing games also. Third one is their microphone. It is used to record voice on the computer and communicate. Projector, which is very important right now in all schools and everywhere, even in offices. It is used to project images or video from computer on a screen. Monitor, it displays all the visual output that CPU produces after processing the input. Speakers, it plays back all the sound based outputs. Scanner, it is a device that scans, captures a paper, image, document and converts it into digital file on a computer. Then printer, it helps to print out the visual output on the paper which is displayed on the monitor. So these are some common peripheral devices which we oftenly used. Let us move ahead. Other peripheral devices and their functions. This is very well known to you people in many supermarkets, big bazaar. There you can see city center malls or any big shop. You can see this is called as a barcode reader. In large retail stores, a peripheral device commonly found is the barcode reader or a barcode scanner. It is used for recording the item per se purchased in order to create the receipt or bill. In offices and homes, we use the peripheral device which is known as scanner. The picture is there below this barcode. You can see it is a scanner and it is used to convert the information on a paper document into a digital information document. So after that conversion in digital form, you can carry it in pen drive, CD, DVD, external hard disks, any media you can carry it, even you can mail it also. That is the benefit of that conversion of physical document into digital. Now let's come to the very important part, CPU, Central Processing Unit. This is actually called as the brain of a computer because all the activities are done in this part. It processes information received from the keyboard and gives the output to the monitor or the printer. Just as our brain can understand arithmetic and logical information, the CPU can also solve mathematical and logical operations or problems. There are three main parts of the CPU: control unit, arithmetical logic unit and memory unit. Just we have seen. Once again, little information I want to give about it. Control unit acts like a receiver and a manager of a company. It receives input from the user and controls different parts to do operations required. Then arithmetic logical processing unit, it is also doing that arithmetical or mathematical operations and logical decisions. Memory unit, it acts as a storage room of a company where the data is temporarily stored by RAM, random access memory, and as well as for a long time ROM, read only memory. So there are two different type of memories are here. Sorry. So let us see in a short glance. In the small part I have compared these memory units. You can just observe over here: RAM, ROM, flash memory. So RAM means random access memory, ROM means read only memory, and flash memory means pen drives we are using, that USB drives are there. So RAM, when you are doing task on your computer, you use RAM. Then second, ROM permanently stores the information, which is very important for starting the computer. Flash memory can permanently store information. Okay. RAM again temporarily stores information. Information is lost when the computer is switched off. Information can be changed very easily because it is read-write memory. In ROM, information is stored when the computer is off. Information cannot be changed easily. It is mainly used when starting the computer, and this information is filled when that ROM is manufactured. Only that programmers can fill the information in that. Then flash memory, information is not lost when computer is switched off. Information can be changed on easily. It is mainly used in removable storage devices like USB, and its uses is based on user's need. So this is about little memory storage devices. Let's move on. Motherboard. So motherboard is very important part of a computer. Motherboard, the small pictures I have kept here for your idea. The motherboard, also referred to as a system board, is the main circuit board inside the computer. It connects input, processing and output devices. Some other important parts we will see one by one. Let us see the view of the motherboard, because in this photograph you can see a very small thing. I want to show you the actual live image or live photo of the motherboard. So please, I want to turn you people to my computer over here. One computer which is right now not working, but I can show you people about this. So let's be ready for the switching this camera. See my dear student, this I have opened my CPU box. In that, this green circuit board, if you can see, this is called as a motherboard. Many things are there available. This is a CPU fan. You people can check it out. This one is CPU fan. Below this, one heat sink is there, which is made by aluminium material, and below that microprocessor is attached, which is actual CPU. Okay, now I will show again some more parts. Some chips are there on that motherboard, even some slots are there. Here is the one more important part. This is called as a RAM, which is fit in the slot, which is called as a RAM slot. I will just open it up for you. This is the RAM. You have to take it out very properly. It's very delicate part. You can just read it out on this, which is written over here. Its name, its memory, 1 GB is there, Dynet company. This is called as a RAM, random access memory. Okay, some chips are there, silicon chips are attached over there. This can be attached at this part. This is called as a RAM slot. Okay, this is RAM slot. Afterwards I will show little more part over here. ROM I explained just right now for you people. That ROM I want to show you. This is called as a ROM, read only memory. Just take a close view of that. This is called as a ROM, which is fixed on that motherboard when the motherboard is manufactured. Okay, then again you can see the building like structures. These are called as heat sink, which is avoiding generating more heat in the motherboard, on the motherboard, and it is avoiding to burn the motherboard. This is different cards are available over here. Then here you can see this plate like wires. This is called as the serial cable, data cable it is called as. Then here some slots are there, that is for another type of cable which is called as a SATA cable. This cable you might have seen in your computer. This is called as a SATA port, SATA cable, which is attached to our hard disks or even our CD-ROM drive, DVD drive, or any other device. Okay, this is the normal general view. Then here CPU fans are there. One is at this corner, one is on the CPU, and one is at the back side of this SMPS. This is called as SMPS, means switch mode power supply, which is giving the entire power supply to our motherboard at this place. You can see here it is providing power supply like this way, the motherboard, and this is the CPU cabinet, which unfortunately which is not working, so I can show you by touching it. But if your machine is working and you opened it, you please do not touch your motherboard by your bare hands, because our electricity or static charge from our body, it may break or it may burn this motherboard circuit. So please avoid such things. Okay, so let's come to our session again. So this was the small tour of my computer, of motherboard I just shown you. Let us move ahead for some storage devices. I have just kept here some pictures for you. You can see there one internal hard disk, one more hard disk, then this is actually laptop hard disk, second one, then floppy disk, which is right now outdated, nobody is using it, but still I have just shown over here to give you one idea about that. Then CD, DVD, external hard disks. Okay, and these are pen drives that you know very well. Pen drives means flash memory drives, or which is called as a USB drives also, right? So let's have a look on these storage devices which I have with me, that I want to show you people. Okay, I have arranged it a little bit different way or nicely, so please just have a look. I will explain while showing you people. Okay, so please ready for another tour. So just look at here, my dear students. These things I have written something on that picture. Okay, something is there in this one. This is called as a hard disk. Sorry, this is called as a floppy disk. This is the hard disk. This is a floppy disk. This was used previously. Okay, the capacity of memory of this hard disk was just only 2.44 MB. Are you getting me? 2.44 MB. This much size was there. Right now or nowadays, not a single song also will fit in this hard disk. So I just want to show you, this was the floppy disk. We can just move it like this way. When you can see here that plastic material, that is actually a round shape material, and this is fixed on the motor which can be rotated. Okay, so this is looking like a square, but inside that one circle shape, disc shape is there. So it is very delicate, so this hard plastic covering is there for that. So this is called as a floppy disk. Okay, let's later on we'll just move on the hard disks. This is called as the internal hard disks. So just have a look, my dear students. This is called as a hard disk. It is of company Seagate. You can see there, Seagate company. Capacity you can see 80 gigabytes. This is very old one and not working, of course, so I can show you people over here. So this is the hard disk. If we just turn it back, here you can see the power connections and data connections where that SATA cable will be attached. Then behind that circuit board is there. When this hard disk is working, you should not touch with your bare hands. I just now explained, any circuit board you should not touch with your bare hands. It will break. the circuit, or it will burn this circuit. So please avoid that things, so it will not damage. So this was called as a internal hard disk. So afterwards, this is one external hard disk, pocket hard disk, we can carry in our pocket. This is also of Seagate company. It's almost 2 terabyte capacity. Okay, this is the cable, USB cable you can insert to your computer or laptop, and you can use this one. The data you can store and you can easily carry from one place to another place. Afterwards, I'll come to you with this pen drives. Okay, these are the pen drives. So this is of 8 GB USB, of course, or it is called as a flash drive also. So it is USB 8 GB. This is also very good, easy to carry the data from one place to another place. Next one is there. This is, see, I will show purposefully both things together to you. So in this whitish color is there, which is having a rainbow color effect. This another also having rainbow color effect, but this one whitish color, this is called as a CD, compact disc. I will just show you. I am not any company's person to advertise anybody, but I want to just show you this part of the CD. It is about 700 MB capacity. Okay, and this is a DVD, digital versatile or digital video disc. So this is about 4.7 gigabytes or GB. Okay, so these two are there, you can easily differentiate it. This is a CD, this is a DVD. So like this way I can explain to you people these things. So these are the short, this is the short tour of our storage devices, which can be store your information to keep it secure. Don't give burden to your system. You can just keep it, your data in your external devices, and then your data will be safe. Let's move ahead to see detailed things about the storage devices. In order to transfer files from one computer to another computer, you need smaller storage devices which you can carry easily from one place to another place. These storage devices are used to store digital information. The commonly used storage devices are USB flash drives, hard disks, CD, DVD, etc. as shown in the figure, and even I have shown you in my that small tour also. They mainly differ in their storage capacity, how much data they can store. By that their differentiation is there. You may have heard of a computer with data storage capacity of 500 MB or 2 GB. What does that mean? It means that how much capacity of that hard disk of that computer is. So data stored in the form of bits and bytes. So bit means it is a binary digit, represents by 0 and 1. Is the smallest storage unit. Bit is the smallest storage unit. 8 bits, suppose 8 bits are there, that combined together it forms a byte, 1 byte, which in turn represents a character, maybe numeral, maybe letter or a symbol. One character, one number or one symbol. So that is a byte. So let's see a little configuration about it. 8 bits make a byte and 1024 bytes make a kilobyte, KB. Again 1024 megabyte make 1 gigabyte. 1024 KB makes 1 megabyte. Again it is increasing. 1024 megabyte makes 1 gigabyte. 1024 gigabyte makes 1 terabyte. Okay, so very simply, more the number of bytes, larger or more number of files can be stored. That's why the people are behind to increase the capacity of our computer. Everyone, whenever we are purchasing the computer, we are checking its memory, RAM, how much it is, and its storing capacity means HDD, hard disk drive, how much capacity it is, 2 TB or 4 TB or 8 TB, like this way. So let us move ahead. Now I want to show you some ports and connections. So these all storage devices or peripheral devices we can connect with our computer, but where to connect? With the help of wires we are connecting, but at which places? That places are called as ports. The slots. The slots or channels into which we connect the mouse, keyboard, external hard disks, wires are called as ports. Thus, ports help us connect input, output, and storage devices or any other peripheral devices in a computer system. There are several type of ports that you can use to connect a computer to an external devices and networks. Some are there, I have shown in the figure, you can easily see, but I will show you by practically on my system which is there with me here. So I will show you on that directly, so you can easily understand. Again, like that same tour we will have. Please be ready for us again one more small tour. I am switching the camera. My dear students, now just see these two devices. I'll take something to explain you people. Okay, now see, this one is there for keyboard, this is for mouse, PS2 type of keyboard and mouse. Next is their serial cable. Nowadays this is not useful because previously that modems were used to connect over here, or even some serial mouse was able to connect at this place. This big port, pink color port is there, this is called as serial port. Here we used to connect dot matrix printers. You know that printers which are available in banks, post office, which are making too much sound while printing, kar like this way, and that printout very big sheet, long sheet is coming out from that printer. Those are dot matrix printers. So that printer can connect over here. Nowadays this port is not available in new latest computers. This is my old PC, so this port is available here. After that, this blue color small port is there. This is called as a VGA port. VGA means visual graphic adapter, where we can attach our monitor or even we can attach our projector. Then after that, these two and these two, like 4 are there ahead of the CPU. Also again 2 more are there, like this total 6 ports. These are called as USB ports. I will just give you the very close look of that. Please you just observe it very carefully. USB, your pen drive, your nowadays mouse, keyboard also coming in USB port, even your printer, scanner, any computer's peripheral device which is having nowadays this USB ports. Okay, these USB ports are there. Here we can attach those devices. Okay, then later on this big port is there. This is called as Ethernet port. Ethernet port means for networking purpose. Even your modem also you can connect here, your telephone line, even your networking cable, LAN networking cable you can connect here, and your machine will be on the network. Even your internet also will work. Now here that 3 different color ports are available, 1, 2 and 3. So these 3 are available here, which are useful for mic, then speaker, and one is auxiliary. So like these ports are there. Upside here, this is called as a power port. From here we can give power to this system, computer system, and from this one you can take inside the power here, and you can give one output here for monitor purpose also. This is called as a CPU fan, this power supply fan, which helps to keep this power supply unit cold. Okay, so this is a little short tour. Okay, so let us move our video by switching on my camera again. Let's move ahead. This same I have given here that you can understand after reading this one. After this video I will upload the PPT also about this part, so that you can read, you can learn properly, and it will be useful for your exercises solving. Now type of ports, I will give short introduction again in that. Same way it is given USB. See, 2 type of USB ports are there. One is micro USB and one is normal USB. Then VGA HDMI. Right now HDMI port is always used in your TVs also, LED TVs also. HDMI port is there in laptops, it is available. For projector also it is available, that is high graphic image. Okay, so multimedia interface is there for that way. Then next is their microphone and line out is there, just I have shown you here. Audio ports, then Ethernet port is there for connecting your system to high speed internet or your LAN also. And then power ports also there to give power to your power supply to your CPU box. So these are the short introduction of the ports and these connections. So thank you very much. So I appeal all of you, my dear students, after watching this video, you try to learn these things very carefully. These ports are available at your system, even in your laptop, but if it is working, please don't try to open that CPU or a laptop. Okay, unless and until you have the complete idea about that hardware, please do not touch that things. Even that motherboard should not be touched directly with your bare hands. Very careful you should be there. So if you have any doubt in this session, you can ask me, you can message me on a group, or personally also you can put me the message. So I am going to upload this video, and after this, today evening or mostly tomorrow morning, I will upload exercises and activities of the same part of this ICT skill. So watch it very carefully, solve that exercises and activities carefully in your notebook, and take a snaps of it and send it to me. So till that time, stay home, stay happy and stay safe. Till that time,